Welcome to the 2020 National Honor Society Induction Ceremony. My name is Doug Stanzak. I am one of the co-advisors of the National Honor Society. Thank you for joining us as we welcome 202 students into membership of Needham High School's chapter of the National Honor Society. We are here formally to recognize those students who have been selected by the faculty committee for successfully completing their candidacy and acceptance into the club. As everyone in town knows, this is a very difficult process to complete. The National Honor Society is the nation's oldest, largest, and most prestigious student recognition program. For current members and those adults who are inducted in their own high school careers, we hope this will serve to remind you of the standards of excellence you pledge to uphold. This ceremony indicates the continuing emphasis on excellence that we represent in our school and community. Throughout the year, members of our chapter serve as role models for other students. In addition to the strong academic records that establish their eligibility for membership, our chapter members are leaders in many student clubs and athletic organizations. Last year, they served our school and community through many activities, including Back Tonight, tutoring over 2,480 hours last year, giving tours to Needham's alumni, helping at the Rotary Club's Pancake Breakfast, working at Beth Shalom Garden Club's Antique Fair, donating over 64 bags of groceries to the Needham Food Pantry, and numerous other activities around the school and town. And when the pandemic hit last year, earlier this year, our National Honor Society reached out to all our pre-K through 8th grade students and parents to offer and deliver remote tutoring and support services. We are proud of this record of accomplishment and welcome our new members to continue the work of our organization. And now it is my honor to introduce Superintendent Dr. Daniel Gutenkanst, who will give the opening remarks.
Thank you. Thank you, and congratulations to our inductees. I'd like to spend a moment sharing some comments that I recently shared with the faculty, given where we are in the calendar year. I shared with the faculty that I remember casting my first vote for a presidential candidate when I was a high school senior. It was November of 1976, a long time ago, and I was not a member of the National Honor Society. I didn't make it, unfortunately. Looking back, I realized that the race at that time, by the way, was between Gerald Ford and Jimmy Carter, and I was really hesitant about my choice and my vote for a variety of reasons. And I realized looking back that my ambivalence really had to do with my level of understanding, my level of maturity, and really, essentially, I didn't understand all of the issues, nor did I understand the character of each man. And character was something that both of my parents believed was deeply important and should be a determining factor in choosing a leader. It was certainly a very powerful and heady feeling for me to have a say in a presidential election, and I didn't want to squander my very first vote. And every election since then, I've marveled at the power we have as ordinary American citizens to strengthen our democracy and help shape our country's future. I'm reminded that on Election Day, not only are our neighbors and fellow citizens impacted by our votes, but the world awaits with hope and sometimes with trepidation. And so, in 2020, the nation and the world at this time await the outcome of a turbulent election in the midst of a pandemic, racial injustice, and economic uncertainty that has unnerved all of us. Our routines, including school, our family lives, friendships, and traditions have been upended by COVID-19. Almost weekly news reports of black men being killed heightens tensions and re-traumatizes black people, including students and teachers of color among us who wonder when, if, it will end. Within your own families, there are concerns about your parents' jobs and how some will pay the bills with businesses shut down and shops closed. For sure, there's plenty of anxiety and blame to go around. The writer Maya Angelou once observed, Hope and fear cannot occupy space at the same time. Invite one to stay. My question for you, inductees of the National Honor Society, which will you invite to stay? May I suggest this? As you are inducted into the National Honor Society at Needham High School in the midst of a health crisis and during an election season with an outcome that right now and today is uncertain, please take stock in the important work you are doing as students, peers, brothers and sisters, sons and daughters, and neighbors. Continue to demonstrate the core tenets of National Honor Society membership: scholarship, character, leadership, and service. Rise above the noise. Serve as role models for others. And in consideration of the genuine uncertainties and doubts in our own lives, invite hope to stay. Congratulations.
Hi, my name is Katie Cardelis, and I co-advise the National Honor Society with Mr. Stanzak. I will now ask our newly elected officers to stand so that we may begin the induction process. The current members have indicated their faith and trust in electing these 4 members to serve as our officers for this school year. The National Honor Society is founded upon the principles of scholarship, leadership, service, and character. In all your undertakings, may you always keep in mind these guiding principles. In accepting these offices, you have indicated your willingness to give your best time and effort to carry out the principles of the National Honor Society. Yours is an important responsibility and privilege. The world today, as never before, needs faithful and efficient leaders, and our chapter, both current and new members, will be looking to you to lead us. With this in view, do you pledge your best efforts to these offices you now accept?
We do.
Congratulations. You are now sworn in as officers for the 2020-2021 school year. On the front table, you see 5 candles. The 4 smaller candles symbolize the 4 pillars of the National Honor Society: scholarship, service, leadership, and character. The middle candle is the candle of knowledge. It unifies the 4 pillars of the National Honor Society. The 4 officers of the chapter will now review the National Honor Society's 4 pillars of scholarship, leadership, service, and character. We begin with scholarship, given by Maggie Lemon, Vice President of our chapter.
We all know that feeling. Staying up late perfecting an essay, last minute cramming for a test, or worrying about our GPAs as the term comes to a close. As a senior, I have been in each of these situations countless times over the past few years, and if we're being honest, the past few days. Sometimes I ask myself why I do these things. Why put the pressure on myself to get strong grades? Why spend so much time studying and writing and memorizing? But then I take that test or turn in that essay, and I remember that I do it for the payoff and the sense of accomplishment that I feel when my hard work is rewarded with an A. Even more than that, however, I do it because I love to learn. And I believe that you are all here because you love to learn too. Scholarship is about so much more than just grades, GPAs, or test scores. It's about constantly striving to be your best self and continually learning, not because you have to, but because you want to. In order to be a member of the National Honor Society, you have all proved that you are capable at excelling academically, but you have also proved yourselves in less tangible ways, given that someone who takes the time and effort necessary to succeed in school has inherently shown their diligence, drive, and passion in so many aspects of their lives. I was always that kid that said that they loved school. And honestly, that has never changed. Most days, I genuinely enjoy getting up and coming to Needham High School, where I have the privilege of learning from my teachers and my classmates. For me, scholarship in my everyday life consists of reading. I love to read anything from fiction to memoirs to the New York Times. Scholarship also consists of some less pleasant tasks, though, like seemingly endless homework assignments. However, I believe that it is essential that we not get caught up in the stressful parts of our education and forget why we came to love it in the first place. For me, that means not letting the really difficult, discouraging, and tiring days at school outweigh all the things I love about it and all of the really amazing learning experiences I've had, from reading Macbeth to the Civil War project to in-class political debates. Learning and loving to learn will take you far in life. The intrinsic motivation that you all have, the desire to grow your breadth of knowledge, is an important quality that you should never let lapse, and something that will help you to pursue what you are passionate about in college and beyond. Although it sounds daunting and prestigious, scholarship does not have to be full of boring tasks and learning things just because you are told to. Scholarship should be different for each of us, based on what we love and what we are passionate about, so that we are learning because we want to, not because we have to. Never stop debating, questioning, and learning, and you will become a scholar in your own right. Sorry. And then next up, we have Nicole Allen, our treasurer, who will be speaking on character.
I volunteer at a hospice visiting with patients. I mostly do companionship visits, so my main purpose is to hold their hands or listen as they tell stories. I once had a patient named Greta. I visited with her for 3 months. Greta was an artist. She had paintings hung all over the walls of her room, paintings that were both her work and the work of others. I would visit her weekly, and she would show me her sketches, or we would look through the arts section of the newspaper, or she would point out her favorite paintings from around the room. Every time I walked into her room, she greeted me with a big smile on her face and patted the empty chair next to her for me to sit down. Greta had dementia. She had no idea who I was or why I was in her room, but she welcomed me every week and managed to show me her passions despite her difficulty with speech. Greta had character. Character is difficult to measure and difficult to define, and yet very recognizable when a person is sitting in the chair next to you. You can't see someone's beliefs or values, but you can see the attention they pay when they talk to you, how they hold themselves, the passion in their voice when they tell you about what interests them. You can hear how they voice their opinions and represent their thoughts. Character shines through most when facing adversity, or in the day-to-day drudge of life, when it's easiest to see what really makes a person. New inductees, you have character. The respect, compassion, optimism, and integrity that you've shown at Needham High. You should be proud of that. Character is what intrinsically motivates you. Character is what drives you all to help your community, why you strive to achieve academic excellence, and why you became a leader at Needham. When I joined the cross-country team my freshman year, the seniors and upperclassmen, but especially the captains, were confident, friendly, and optimistic. They had character. These traits set the whole team at ease, bonding the team and helping us work better together. Going into this year, when it was my turn to be a captain, I knew that the character of myself and my co-captains, especially our optimism, would work to create a team like the culture like the previous years, despite the many restrictions on our season. Character is essential in setting an example for the school community, be it on a team, such as mine, in the classroom, in a club, or just in the halls. Character rests on citizenship, responsibility, caring, and honesty. But each of our characters will continue to grow and develop as we move through life, and it builds as one expresses oneself. Your last year or two at Needham are vital in continuing to grow your character. Be passionate about things, be sensitive, take advantage of opportunities, continue your excellence in scholarship, leadership, and service. Though character itself is ambiguous in its definition, its presence at Needham is essential to making our community both strong and vibrant, and the Needham community will only strengthen as your characters grow. Serenity Carlapellum, Secretary, is now going to speak on service.
One of the most valuable qualities a National Honor Society member holds is their commitment to service. Although service initiatives can range from picking up trash on the sidewalk to donating large sums of money to charitable causes, service ultimately begins with an individual who is willing to work for the benefit of those in need without compensation or recognition of any kind, a quality that is essential in NHS members. I began my service journey from distributing peanut butter and jelly sandwiches at nearby homeless shelters to restoring a rural Indian village as a high schooler. During my summer visits to India, I witnessed the pothole-filled streets full of malnourished children and mothers desperately imploring for money. Barefoot, these sights were awfully painful and incomprehensible, yet I was never in a position to make a claim to end the unfortunate cruelty of poverty. I simply didn't have access to enough resources to resolve such an issue. However, I was inspired by those who dedicated their lives for the well-being of others and decided to embark on a self-initiated mission trip to assist the developing country my parents came from. The summer after ninth grade, I volunteered at a small rural village, Godwalkunda, India, to reinstate a nearby temple and provide food and shelter to impoverished villagers during an Indian festival. The work I carried out to restore the village's infrastructure was meaningful not only to the village, but also to myself. To this day, I find myself reminiscing about the big grins of satisfaction on the villagers' faces as I gently placed a serving of rice onto their plates. In that moment, I was overwhelmed by warmth and gratification, feelings I strived for and experienced throughout the many volunteering organizations I joined. From my service experiences, I ultimately realized that gratification from volunteering doesn't come from the number of accumulated hours, despite how high that number may be. Rather, the satisfaction of performing service acts comes from an individual's character development and their impact within a community. The National Honor Society pillar of service can be demonstrated in a variety of ways. As a service club, the National Honor Society is highly concerned with seeking out and engaging in meaningful service. It calls for a service mindset, the desire to seek opportunities to help others as well as the acts of service. The point of service isn't to single-handedly solve big problems like poverty or even cure COVID-19. Rather, it's to promote simple acts of service. Volunteering doesn't have to be some grand gesture, and initiatives can be organized anywhere. However, dedication and commitment is key to improving our society, and as the number of volunteers increase, we as a community can accomplish much more. National Honor Society members are committed to the idea of volunteering time and persevering to the creation of a better tomorrow. Ali Jane, President, will now speak on leadership.
The concrete dictionary definition of leadership is the state or position of being a leader. But this definition doesn't really help us because it has the word leader in it. So what is a leader? A leader is defined as the person that commands a group, organization, or country. After hearing this definition, names like George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, or even Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg may have popped into your head. I mean, clearly, these people have had a great impact on our society. But it's not their title as the President of the United States or as the CEO of Tesla and Facebook that qualify them as a leader. All of these people demonstrate leadership due to their ability to promote social influence that ultimately maximizes the efforts of others to achieve a common goal. Leadership can be seen in many different forms and is prevalent throughout all age groups. On my swim team, I see 7-year-olds rally up a group of their friends to cheer on their teammates during races. That's leadership. I see students helping their peers on a project. That's leadership. And I see my neighbors running around their yard with Nerf guns, attracting the other kids on my street to play with them. That's another form of leadership. Leadership isn't about the amount of power or authority you have. Rather, leadership focuses on your self-motivation, responsibility, and initiative within the activities you participate in, whether that be in or out of school. All of you have demonstrated leadership from a very young age. Through playing games like Follow the Leader to organizing lemonade stands, you should be proud of how far you've come as a leader. Whether you're an athlete, a babysitter, a sibling, or tutor, you have demonstrated leadership by acting as a role model who positively influences the people around you. I now urge you to think about how leadership combines the pillars of scholarship, character, and service together. In all four of these pillars, it's ultimately up to you to think about the way you carry yourself around other people on a daily basis. There's a reason why the National Honor Society refers to these pillars as everyday scholarship, character, service, and leadership qualities. Congratulations on achieving high levels of leadership and making the National Honor Society. You deserve it. Keep building your leadership skills and don't forget to exhibit them every day. Now we will induct the new members. It is my honor to proclaim that these 202 candidates have been selected for membership by the faculty committee based on their achievements in leadership, service, scholarship, and character. At this time, will the inductees at home please rise, raise your right hand, and repeat the National Honor Society pledge after me. I pledge to uphold the high purposes of the National Honor Society to which I have been selected. I will be true to the principles for which it stands and will maintain and encourage high standards of scholarship, leadership, service, and character. Congratulations, you are now members of the National Honor Society. We will now show the names of all the new members of the NHS.
We would like to thank numerous people for helping make this another successful year for the National Honor Society. First, thanks to the faculty committee, Lizzie Cushing, Glenn Hopkins, Kelsey McCarthy, Elaine Priovalis, Maria Satori, Wesley Sermon, Andrew Verardo, Joshua Wasson, and Brian Zeman for reading and evaluating all the applications, hearing appeals, and lending general advice and support throughout the process. Second, we would like to thank Natalie Guthrie for directing, filming, and editing this ceremony. Lastly, we could not have completed this whole process without the technical support of Mr. Will Welch and Josh Yankel. Now I have the honor of introducing our principal, Mr. Aaron Seacott, who will offer closing remarks.
I'm honored to be here as a part of the ceremony and excited to say to you, congratulations, inductees. It is a tremendous honor to be in the position where you are, and I imagine it comes down primarily to two reasons that you are in this position. The first is the support that you've received throughout many layers and years of your life, whether it is your parents who have supported you, grandparents who encouraged you, aunts and uncles, even older or maybe even younger siblings along the way, never mind the countless educators that you've experienced, teachers, teaching assistants, secretaries, custodians, administrators. My request of you is to reflect on that at this point, of all of the people who have contributed to you having this moment right now, and take the time to say thank you. If you're sitting on the couch next to some of those people, turn now and say thank you to them. If you need to leave the room and pause this to go say thank you to somebody in the house, go do that. And if it's a note you need to write or an email you need to send, I encourage you to say thank you to all of the people who have contributed in a myriad of ways to you receiving this honor at this point in your lives. I imagine the other reason that you're here right now is your own hard work. This doesn't come easily, this honor, this recognition. It comes from hard work day in and day out. When you're tired, you continue to work. When you're distracted, you continue to work. You do all that you need to make sure that you're in a position to have those successes along the way, to give to the community along the way, to show your leadership along the way, all that are required to be receiving this honor at this point. So congratulate yourself on that tireless work over these many years. Make sure that you enjoy this night and make sure that you continue that hard work. This is just one of many milestones that you can receive in life. Make sure that you're continuing those great traits that have got you to this point so you can continue to experience those successes down the road. Now, if we were in person, I'd be encouraging everybody who's watching this to join us in the cafeteria for some cake. Of course, we're not able to do that in this environment right now. So I'm going to encourage each of you to find something sweet in your house and go enjoy it. You most certainly deserve it right now. Congratulations to everybody.